Hey guys, it's Erin. Today I am finally starting to get some of my bulb orders in for the season. So I wanted to go through everything that I should be receiving within the next week or so and what some of my plans are for them. I also am going to plant some tulips today. So if you've been around here a little while, this spring was a pretty devastating year for tulips for me. It was really terrible. I swore them off. I'm never going to do it again. And I'm sort of not doing it again. So I didn't go and order 5,000 tulips this year or 6 or 8,000. I decided I'm just going to do small batches and do some in crates, mostly just for me and for the flower stand. Certainly not enough to go down to the farmer's market. But I am going to grow some. I've also got some on order that I just want for my own gardens because they're beautiful and I enjoy them for myself. So let me walk you through. There's a few different categories, but I'm going to go by supplier for what I have on order and everything should be here. Actually, some of it should have already been here, but we have some back and forth going on, and my orders have changed from some of the wholesalers. But at this point, I think everything's pretty well locked in, and it should all be coming within the next couple of weeks. So prepare yourself for some bulb planting videos to come. Okay, I'm going to start with what got me back a little bit on the tulip train, and that was when a few weeks ago we went to Costco and they had all their bulbs on display. I know a lot of people for their home gardens use Costco bulbs and they do a great job. They're small enough amounts that you can do one crate or one area of your garden, and they're also big enough amounts that you don't just have just a couple tulips at a time. So let me go through all the varieties and I'll tell you what I'm going to do with them. So I got this variety. This one is Van Egyck and Mystic Van Egyck. This is a blend that I got at Costco. I loved all the purples and the pinks. It's always a really good combination in the springtime. This particular variety, I am going to put into a crate, and I'll show you later on how I'm going to do that. But this one I just couldn't pass up the color combo. The next one I got, this one is apricot impression and pink impression. Again, love the color combination, and I'm also going to put this one in crates. One crate. This next one is the red Van Egyck. They had all the Van Egycks at Costco this year. I don't usually grow straight red tulips, but for some reason this coming spring, it felt like something that would do well in the flower stand. So we're going to give it a go. And then the last one that I'm going to grow in crates is this one. It's red impression and pink impression. It's another pink mix, but it's the red and pink instead of the purple and pink. And I think that this will also be a good combo for farm stand bouquets. Part of the reason that I decided to do some of this anyway was just that I couldn't bring myself to invest in a large crop that may fail, and which it very, very handily failed last year, this spring. It was a large investment and I couldn't bring myself to do it again, just to take them down to the farmer's market and not have sales. So again, a lot of you guys that have been around here a little while have heard, I mean, the sales are kind of up and down at the farmer's market this year, a little bit worse off. And you know, the economy, everything's kind of a struggle. So I'm scaling back on some of that a little bit this year. I'm going to lean harder into the wholesale and then the flower stand. And these bright colors sitting in that farm stand, I think will just be so beautiful. And it's a low cost investment. Each one of these bags of 50 was like $15, which is much more than a wholesale would be, but it's also not a huge amount that I couldn't just afford to at least try it. And I can put them in crates and grow them there, protect them from the voles. And if I start to see something going wrong, I can separate them. And either way, it's just a low cost investment for me. So those are the 4 varieties that I plan to put in crates today and get them all planted up and ready to go. This next one is Purple Prince and Foxtrot. I've grown Foxy Foxtrot a couple of times, but Foxtrot, it's the same shape, double, but it's the Foxy Foxtrot has more orange and like a golden yellow color with the pink. This one is just clear pink and white, and I thought it was really pretty. This one is going to go in my landscaping. Pretty much all the rest of them are going to go in my landscaping. Okay, so those were all the tulips that I got at Costco. I also ordered daffodils. This one is just your classic Dutch Master. I've ordered quite a few actually of these just bright, classic golden yellow tulips that I'm going to put out on the edges of the forest in some of our big open gardens that are just on the edges, so that because they're such a bright color, I can see them from a good distance away, and they naturalize so well here that I can plant them and kind of leave them be, and just they'll do their thing. They'll come back every year, and the show will just get better and better. So Dutch Master, there's 50 of them. I also got these are the Ziva paper whites. These are for Christmas. I also got some amaryllis from Costco. They're just the wax covered ones, and I'll pull all those out in a while when it gets closer to needing to pot them up for the holidays. And then the last thing I got at Costco was more allium. This mix, what are they? Oh goodness, I'm not even going to try to pronounce, but these guys, I have quite a good amount of allium around the garden in different places all over, but I don't have any white, and this shape is a little bit different than what I have already. Most of what I have are the big globe type, and I have some drumstick type varieties, but these are new to me, and I just thought they would be really pretty in one of my garden beds. Okay, now that we've gone through all the Costco varieties, I got to get into my email, and I'll show you what I ordered from other vendors. So I did order direct from Longfield, who is the supplier for all of these, but I ordered direct from them, and it should be arriving any minute now. I ordered Scylla mix. It's a tiny little purple and blue little tiny bulb that it's an early spring type variety. I'm really excited. There's a few of these that are all going to get planted together, and I'm not going to tell you where, but I'm really excited. They're the really early bloomers with little bulbs. I also ordered a couple more bearded iris. One is Concertina and one is Peggy Sue. Both very, very pretty. Soft peaches and purple. Another large cup daffodil. This one's called Ice Follies, and the outer petals are white and the inner cup is yellow. It's very standout, and I will put this in a different place from where the Dutch Masters are. And I also ordered a package of Dordogne tulips. These are pink and orange mix. It's on the same tulip. It's not two different varieties, one pink and one orange. It's one orange and pink tulip. I'm really looking forward to this one. This one's also going to go into the landscape. I think out in this front bed, over the years I've managed to plant a lot of, oh, my neighbors are using a skill saw. If you hear that, I'm sorry. Over the years in this front garden, I've put a lot of purples, so I think the orange and the pink will kind of contrast and help out. Okay, that's what I've ordered from Longfield. Then I've also ordered from Color Blends. Let's see. This order, I ordered 100 of the Shocks and Struts blend that they have. It doesn't tell you what the varieties are. It's just Shocks and Struts, and it's more of the pink and orange and purple blend. Again, not going into a crate. These are going to go into the gardens somewhere so that I can enjoy them. Evidently today's the day to be outside working, which I don't blame anybody. It's a gorgeous day. Okay, and then I've also ordered 50 Lucky Number. It's a daffodil, classic yellow daffodil. It's very similar to the Dutch Master, and I'm gonna put those all together and mainly put them in the same place around the garden. Okay, I've also ordered some grape hyacinths, a package of 100 called Cobalt C. Those are going to go with the Scylla, and I've also ordered some crocus, a mix. It's Crow Creation. It's a mix of purple and golden crocus, and those three types of flowers, they're all going to go together and get planted in the same spot. And I'm hoping that it's just a beautiful, magical early spring color show. And then I also bought from Color Blends some more amaryllis. I have a real thing for amaryllis. I've already got my amaryllis from last year in a closet going dormant so that I can plant them up at the beginning of November. So in a few weeks, I should be planting them up again so that they're ready for Christmas and beyond. But these should be here soon. They're called Rosalie, and they're sort of a peachy pink color. I don't have any in that color range, so I thought it would be really pretty. And then the last place that I ordered from is a local farm. It's a tiny little farm up just a couple hours north of me, and I ordered small quantities, very small quantities of everything I got from her. It's called the Farmhouse Flower Farm. You may have seen her Instagram or whatnot. She grows a lot of really beautiful varieties. It's certainly not wholesale. You're going to pay a premium, but the varieties that she has are also premium. So you take what you get. These I have a different idea for than the rest of everything that I have. So I got one order of La Belle Epoque tulips. I'm really hopeful that I actually get them because I have yet to be able to actually get them in and grow them. Every time I've placed an order, it's been canceled for one reason or another. Apparently they have a really hard time growing and getting a good bulb stock from that particular variety, and it's beautiful. The next one that I got from her is Dreamer. This one I have grown multiple times. It's one of my absolute favorite. If I could order it somewhere other than awnings, I would, in larger quantities, just because it's such a beautiful flower. That one, hands down, one of my favorites of all time, and I want to just grow it year over year, but because I wasn't willing to buy 600 of them this year, I wasn't going to place an order for that amount of tulips because they're not going in crates, and I didn't want to risk planting them in the ground again because they were one of the ones that sparked the tulip fire that hit me this year. And then the last thing, I got another batch of Charming Lady tulips, which are really sweet. They've got peach and cream and yellow. They go really well, at least in the pictures, they'll go really well with the Dreamer and the La Belle Epoque, hopefully. And then the last thing I ordered from her was some hyacinths. This one's called Gypsy Queen. I got 2 orders from her. They're small orders, like I said, it's like 10, 15 bulbs. But the peach color that this hyacinth has is different than any that I've grown. Usually it's a bright purple or a pink or a blue or a white, and this is sort of a peach color, and I wanted to give it a try. Okay, I will tell you about my ranunculus and anemone when they come in. That's what I've gone back and forth with my wholesaler several times. And my order keeps changing on me, so until it gets here, I don't want to walk through what I ordered. I'll walk through it once it shows up and I know for sure what I have. Okay, so aside from the ranunculus and anemone, that's my bulb order. It's very small this year. I said that I wasn't going to order tulips, and I didn't order tulips, really. I got a few hundred, just mostly for myself and to grow some in crates for the flower stand. Certainly not enough to make a difference down at the farmer's market. When I get my ranunculus and anemone corms in, I will show you those and we'll talk through the varieties that I got. I think they will be absolutely stunning, but that's my push for this coming season in the springtime is the ranunculus and anemone flowers rather than tulips. It's just not, this year it wasn't worth it to me to put the risk in on the tulips, but I do want to still have some because I want that flower stand to be really beautiful. Okay, next step, I'm going to plant up these 4 bags of tulips, and I want to show you how I'm going to do that in these crates. So this crate right here is only about a 6-inch crate. This is a tulip crate. Some of the other crates that I have back here are they're 8-inch depth. They're for bigger bulbs. These are what they get shipped in, but for this, tulips don't need a whole lot of soil depth. They need more underneath of them than they need on top. So I'm going to start out by lining this crate. You can obviously see there's holes in it all the way around. So I'm going to line it with some craft paper. This is just plain old butcher paper, craft paper. And it's really, this step is only to hold the dirt in the crate. That's the only reason that we do this. Now from here, I'm going to put about 2 or 3 inches of soil on the bottom of this crate, and then we'll arrange all of our tulips. I'm going to do a mixture this time of the prepackaged potting mix, and we're going to go get some of the compost out of the pile that we have. Since this is going to be outside, it's going to get a good amount of rain all winter. So I need to make sure that there's enough food. I'm not going to fertilize though, because most bulbs have pretty much all the energy they need to grow. It's only about 1 inch deep. I want to go right about here. So I'm going to go get a couple shovels of compost. All right. Okay, we have a couple inches there. Next thing I'm going to do, there we go. This is the red and pink impressions mix. So it looks like they separated them. I'm going to go one side and then the other. And this is really the easy part. Dump these all out. There's 50 total, which means there's 25 of each. And I should be able to put all 50 of these in this crate. So, and I'm just going to put them in here, close up next to each other, like as lots of people describe it, it's like eggs in a carton. And we're just going to line them all up. This is exactly how I plant them for in my field, also in the garden beds. I plant them really close together. They don't need a lot of room because I'm not going to save them. They're just going to grow this one season and be done. And these all look really good. There's no bad looking bulbs in this whole bunch, so I'm really happy about that. That was the red impression. These are the pink impressions. They're pretty good sized bulbs also. I'm rather impressed with that actually. See, they all look really good. I'm just going to line them up on this side as well. You can plant, depending on the size of your tulips, you can plant up to 75 tulips in a crate, which is kind of crazy. I'm double checking them to make sure they're all healthy, just because everything that I went through this spring, I don't want to do it again. Okay. This bottom, just to be clear, this bottom part right here, this sort of flat, that's down. This pointy end always goes up. Although I have tried, and I was successful, to just plant them, toss them into a bed, and they kind of lay however they lay. Mainly they land on their sides, and they seem to grow just fine. I didn't have too much issue with that part at all. So, I mean, it's better for them if their growth point is pointed up, but you can do it. Just toss them in there, scatter them about so they're not actually touching each other, and then it's fine from there. Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna fill this the rest of the way up with soil. Like I said, these guys don't need a huge amount of dirt to grow. If you're growing, when you're growing lilies this way, which I have done most years, they grow and put out roots along the stem. So they need the deeper crates, these deeper ones. They only need a couple inches on the bottom for the roots to sit in, but then they need 6 inches above that of soil so that the roots can come out and grab into the soil so you have bigger, stronger blooms. Tulips, on the other hand, all of their growing comes out the bottom as far as root growth, and they're pretty hardy. They only need a few inches and they're good to go. So, okay, I'm gonna go get the rest of these crates all set up. I'm gonna take you with me to show you how I'm doing it. I'm gonna move over by the compost bin to do, or compost pile to do that. And then we'll get them all filled out and yeah, we'll be there. See, this one's got a bit of a scar on it right here. I'm not gonna grow that one. Better safe than sorry. Sean's back with Izzy. She's got a grooming appointment. She and Winston don't do well apart from each other. I hear her whimpering. Okay, those are all done. So now I'm just going to fill up the crates with soil from here, with compost. Okay, so these are all ready to go. There's a couple things I want to make note of. First, you really need to make sure that these get plenty of moisture. Soak them when you do the first watering in. And if you live somewhere that's sort of dry, you have to keep an eye on them to make sure that they don't completely dry out. In my climate, because we're zone 8B, Pacific Northwest, we're known for our rain. I have the opposite problem. I need to make sure that they're not holding on to water all winter long and cover them if we're going to have huge rainstorms that last for weeks on end, which happens pretty regularly in the wintertime. So it's just keep an eye on them, no different than if they're out in the fields. Just make sure that you're paying attention to what's happening to them. So one other thing about tulips, when you read up on how to grow tulips, everything will tell you that tulips require a chill period, which is like 12 to 16 weeks of temperatures below 50 degrees. I'm in a zone 8B, and most places that are zone 8B, you would need to pre-chill your bulbs. A lot of companies like Color Blends will do that for you. If you have an extra fridge in your garage or somewhere, a cooler, you can put them in there to chill. My particular zone 8B, because of where we are, the Pacific Northwest, we have a really long, cool spring and fall. We don't get particularly cold in the winter, which is what the zoning really talks about, is how cold your average low temperatures are. And most people with the zone 8B, we're within that temperature range, but most people's spring is a lot shorter, and it'll go from winter straight up to warm weather. And here it tends to be very long, and we don't warm up until late May, usually mid to late May, which means that these guys, despite not being in that zone 7 where you're pretty safe, we can still grow tulips without pre-chilling them. Now, any given year is sort of a crapshoot, and if you have an unusually warm season, it could have a negative impact. And if you want to make sure that you're going to have good blooms, then you can always, there's a lot of air traffic and vehicle traffic at the moment. Now, if you live in one of these edge climates like mine, you can always play it safe and pre-chill them or buy them pre-chilled. If you buy them pre-chilled, they will ship them to you when they're ready, when it's the right time for you to plant them. Or you can just go with what you know on how your actual climate zone sort of works. Everybody's is different. Zone 8B in Washington is much different than a zone 8 in South Carolina. Those guys will heat up way too fast. Their winter is short, so they won't have as much chill time as needed for tulips. But because our spring and fall are so long, it starts at the beginning of October, middle of October, and then it stays below 50 degrees until May. So we have plenty of time to get the chill hours needed for these bulbs to grow. But to play it on the safe side, you can always pre-chill them, and you won't have to worry about that. I just wanted to make note of that. Okay guys, that's going to do it for this video. I enjoyed going through and reminding myself of all the bulbs that I ordered. I know that it's not as big and it's not going to be as big and showy as it has been in years past, but I am making some investments in daffodils for my own gardens, and I'm just saving myself the heartache of the potential to lose all those bulbs next spring. I'm okay if 400 tulips get some problem and don't bloom. I was not okay when my several thousand tulips didn't bloom or bloomed and had tulip fire, and just, it was terrible. So this is much easier for myself for this. And like I said, we're going to push hard into ranunculus and anemone this coming season. So I'm going to forego most of the tulips, but that's okay. I'm still going to have some color. We're going to put some in our own gardens for ourselves and to share with you guys in the spring. But as far as growing them for the farmer's market, it's just not going to happen. But this is a good way to do it. I'm excited. I've not actually grown them in crates. I've grown lilies and acidanthera and other things, other bulbs in crates before, but never these. So I'm excited to see how they do. So aside from the tulip fire, we also have a real problem with moles and voles getting up in there and digging and eating our tulips bulbs. They don't touch the daffodils, but they certainly get into these. And that was another problem that we had last spring. And because these crates are solid, they shouldn't be able to get in there. So cross your fingers, all will go well. Okay guys, like I said, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you got inspired to get some planting done, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.